Hey everybody, my name is Paul Esden Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We're streaming live simultaneously in 3 different locations. The Heavy on Jets Facebook page to over 30,000 New York Jet fans. It's been an exciting day. We've got a lot to get into. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25, and on my Twitter account at BoyGreen_25. Apparently, that's the one thing the hacker accomplished is I can no longer stream live from my Twitter account. So thank you, you bastard, wherever you are. But anywho, I guess you won one battle, but thank you for not doing more damage. Anywho, we've got an exciting show. Again, guys, sorry for the slight delay to the show, but you know, it's if you really think about it, it's kind of on brand, right? This Aaron Rodgers announced 40-something days ago he intended to play for the Jets. We had to wait for the trade, so it only makes sense that we make you wait for the show to talk about that trade. So without further ado, every other Wednesday right here on this channel, and of course the other weeks on Buffalo's channel, the Buffalo Jet Fan, to talk about something, Buffalo, that people said was impossible. People said we were idiots. And hell, I think even one time you called me an idiot before you jumped on the bandwagon. So, baby, welcome in. What is it, man? Aaron Rodgers is a Jet.
Oh man, dude, it was January. I was January with a stream where we were just kicking the tire on Aaron Rodgers. You were way more emphatic about it again than I was. You were of anybody who talks Jets on the interwebs that I know, you were probably the earliest and most emphatic on Aaron Rodgers. So your props are due. People always remind us when we're wrong. So I think a victory lap is deserved when you're right. So you deserve one, Paul Boy Green. And no one's revisited to come and retract those statements. They've changed their name. They've moved to Fargo, Dakota. They're living the Saul Goodman life, managing a Cinnabon, all those people. But Aaron Rodgers is a Jet, and it is, dude, the video of him going in and like dapping up Robert Saleh, I was like, oh, it's surreal. And I'm sure we'll get into it, but he killed the presser too. Couldn't be happier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's. I just want to start off the show because we got a lot to get into. Of course, the draft is tomorrow night. It came up like this, obviously, with the Aaron Rodgers thing. So we're going to get into all that. And I saw we had a lot of people asking draft. They said, "Hey, can we please get some notes and quote on the draft?" But before we get there, I do just want to show a couple of pictures and images from today. I heard some of the Jets team media folk calling it Rodgers Day. Happy Rodgers Day to everybody. Like, look at this. Look at this. Let's get some of this in. Aaron Rodgers walking in the building with the Jets hoodie on. It's just, look at this. Aaron Rodgers and general manager Joe Douglas, who, by the way, stays old school on brand. You saw it with the hat. You saw it with the polo. He's all about the old school Jet logos, which we can appreciate. Him and Robert Saleh. Very nice. Walking down the hallway. I was walking down that same hallway when I was invited to do the One Jets Drive thing. We got to walk down and obviously stare down the historic hallway. Me and Aaron Rodgers were walking on the same path. Just a couple of months apart. Beautiful. And yes, let's go to what you said, Buffalo. Let's throw this up there. The form on the dapping, you see it in the first video there. It's a very, let's get the sound too. Yeah, it's aggressive.
I haven't seen it with audio. Man.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, yeah. Hear that. That's nice. He gets it, but watch this. Let's go to Joe Douglas. It's softer. Yeah. And a nice little, kind of rib cage tap. Nice little.
Uncle Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Uncle Joe. Not as aggressive. See, it's kind of a light clap. Look at this, though. This is freaking. Hey, Mama. How you doing? So very nice. Yeah. I have to give prop. Look at Robert Saleh with the dap up. Beautiful. Very nice. So I want to ask you this because I did it was cool. And by the way, huge shout out to my work because I wouldn't have thought to do this. My work says, hey, Aaron Rodgers coming on the Pat McAfee show. Can you and then the Pat McAfee show both be live at the same time? I'm like, I've never done that before, but okay, this is my work telling me to do this. They think it'll be great. They said, we'll promote the hell out of it. I'm like, sure, yeah, let's do it. And then, of course, he says what he says, intends to play for the Jets. I lose my freaking bananas. I'm like, what just happened? And we get this awesome reaction. Was that almost like the celebration before the celebration? Because I felt like for me at that point, I knew he was going to be a Jet. It was just a matter of actually happening. So once the trade was announced or agreed in principle on Monday, and then we got it official today, then the press conference, did you have those same excited juices? I don't know if your live reaction was anywhere out on the internet way back when for the Pat McAfee stuff, but like, how did that kind of settle for you?
So, yeah, I was like 99.9% sure he was going to be a Jet for about 5 weeks. And the initial Schefter tweet to me didn't move it much, but I got to be honest, seeing that video and him holding up the green number 8 jersey and talk about the trophy looks a little empty. I'm going to be here for the foreseeable future. Talking up Robert Saleh and the staff. That's what making it real. Yeah, man, it was like Christmas morning, even though the news was a little delayed. That was still all the tingles and feels for sure. And I am going to fanboy for this grown man in ways that are disgraceful and embarrassing. Forewarned anyone who follows me on Twitter. Any super chats sent tonight will go to ancestry.com with the hopes of revealing that he is my biological father. That is where this is at.
By the way, did Mekhi Beckner reply to your tweet? I saw you sent that out.
Not gotten back to me
not yet. Okay. That's okay. There's a lot going on. He'll get back to you eventually, I think. Let me throw this up there. I don't know if this is going to pop up on the screen or not. There you go. I pre-ordered this puppy. Look at that, the Aaron Rodgers jersey. Now, I need to make an announcement because I saw a lot of Jet fans saying, oh, they switched the stealth black jerseys. No, I actually found this by accident. The first one I thought in my head, because I knew that, once the trade was official, Jet Shop would open it up to all the Aaron Rodgers jerseys. And I said in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going to stealth black. Immediately sold out. And I clicked it as soon as the jerseys became available, immediately sold out. I'm like, son of a. So I started to scroll. I'm like, I guess I'll go Gotham Green. Then I saw this puppy, which is like a custom jersey. It's the same price. It looks freaking great. The green jersey numbers really pop. They took off the green flights coming up here and it says Jets instead of New York on the front. This is beautiful, man. I ended up pre-ordering this puppy. It is very sexy. So have you already bought your Aaron Rodgers jersey yet? I already bought it. This is pre-order. Boom.
So I purchased a couple for people that I said I was going to give gifts to.
Right.
I cannot be trusted. I am the ultimate jinx. I won't do it. I'm not putting that jersey on. Can't do it.
Wow. Okay. All right. I can respect it. Yeah. So let's take a couple of takeaways from the presser. And like I said, eventually we'll get into draft. I know the draft is tomorrow night, so we'll definitely get that in there. And we'll have plenty of time to really dissect this as we go. I think when we talk way back when, I think we talked about it initially on that show in January. I think I brought it up on my stream in November, December of hey guys, if we're going to start digging in other waters with the Zach Wilson thing not working out, Aaron Rodgers. And I'll tell you that back then I was cool with only getting Aaron Rodgers a year. And quite frankly, that's all I thought he was going to be is a year. And I said, cool, let's pay the price. Let's get him for a year. The Connor Hughes thing, and then Aaron Rodgers himself saying, quote, foreseeable future. And again, he didn't, there was another point where he was asked straight up. He said, I'm going to take it year by year. But I think he said it several times in other medias because, again, he did everything. He did it in front of the press. He did his radio interview with the Michael Kay show. So he's done 100 media opportunities. And through them all, I think he can gather that this is minimum 2. And Connor Hughes hinted at 3. This is greater than anything I could have hoped for, Buffalo. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't have a crystal ball. But getting Aaron Rodgers for, it seems like minimum 2 years and maybe 3 is makes me look at this trade a completely different way. An unbelievably massive win for Joe Douglas, regardless of the price when you factor that in, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think, remember when we were originally talking about this trade, I think the 2 first-round picks scared most of us away. And I think we kind of settled on, a second rounder this year and a first rounder next year. And that was that probably makes sense. And then a bunch of time went by and we started fighting with Packers fans and we kind of lost the plot a little bit, which is why I think a lot of Jet fans were kind of negative about the trade compensation, but we just had too much time to think about it. A late first round pick and a mid second round pick is not more valuable than Aaron Rodgers. And I've said for a long time, the comp to me is Peyton Manning, Tom Brady's final acts. And that was 3 years. And I think we would all accept those 3 years that they got with Denver and Tampa Bay, which was 3 playoff appearances and 1 Super Bowl for each team. Mm-hmm. And there was no long-term solution available, right? There were none.
Correct. Right.
Derek Carr. The
Lamar, maybe, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I guess if you are going to fight for it.
A quarterback who runs for 1,000 yards a year, who's been on IR when it's time to play playoff games the last 2 years.
True.
I would have been excited for that too. But my point is there wasn't a surefire long-term solution without massive risk. Giving Derek Carr $150 million, even though he's never won a playoff game, is a massive risk. Putting a poison pill of $60 million and giving up 2 unconditional ones for Lamar Jackson coming off back-to-back season-ending injuries is a massive risk. Rolling out Zach Wilson and Mike White again is the biggest risk. Everyone's getting fired. Trading up from 13 to 3 for whatever, Anthony Richardson, would be a massive risk. And to me, the only one of those risks that I know gives us a Super Bowl ceiling was Aaron Rodgers. So what the hell are we talking about?
100%. We haven't had time to dissect it with each other. On our own channels we have of the actual trade. I will say I was wishing the conditions were a bit more intense, obviously, in 2024, whether playoffs or Super Bowl or something of that nature to get to that first. Obviously, it seems a lot easier to get to. But I will say the thing I like with the more time that we get away from it is that you avoid the doomsday scenario. And I don't even want to say it because, I feel like we could potentially jinx it. I mean, hell, you're not even willing to buy and slap on the jersey for yourself. Is that if some devastating injury happened and Aaron Rodgers did not play 65% of the snaps, at least, because in that scenario, the Jets would not be very good next year, is that the Jets would still have their first-round pick. So if they needed some long-term solution at quarterback, at least you'd have the first-round pick to at least dabble. If they just gave the non-conditional first and that happened, the Jets would be really up shit's creek because you wouldn't have the first. And who knows what the Rodgers situation would be. Would he be one and done at that standpoint? So to me, the thing that I like about that is if he plays 65% of the snaps, I don't envision a world, and I know there's a lot of possibilities. If Aaron Rodgers is playing, I think he's great. I don't think there's any way he's terrible. He just sucks. He comes to the Jets. He can't hit the broadside of the bar. I just don't factor that into any realistic possibility. So again, if he plays 65% of the snaps, then the Jets are good, and it's going to be a late first anyway. Okie dokie, pass the biscuits. I'm fine. That's kind of my perception of it. What say you again about the trade or potentially the conditions or anything of that nature?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was definitely probably 20% north of what I'd been predicting at the end. My initial reaction to the trade was, I was like, I felt like we could have got it done without the pick swap at the top. And then I agree with you. I wish the condition to go from a 2 to a 1 was a little bit stricter. Maybe at least the Jets make the playoffs. But the
first round pick swap did seem unnecessary. We haven't talked about that point. That just seems like an unnecessary.
It seemed like JD folded a little bit there, right? Yeah, we can say that.
He said it was one of the last things. So it does seem like, to your point, all right, let's just get this over with. Fine. Yeah, maybe you're right.
And I don't. It's not enough for either side. I was hoping it would just be the 2 and then some lighter conditions on the 1. Then you could really push back at the Packers fans. Now, obviously, the Packers fans saying they were going to get a Russell Wilson package is crazy, but the Green Bay got a great return for a guy that they didn't want anymore. That they didn't want anymore, and had to pay that kind of money. Green Bay got an excellent return, no doubt about it. So yeah, it was a little bit north of what I was expecting. So essentially, to me, the Jets were willing to give up a 2 and a 1. But just like you said, they have to have insurance for the worst case scenario if Aaron Rodgers is injured. Hypothetically, if you give up a 2 and a non-conditional 1 and Aaron Rodgers missed the whole season, worst case scenario, then you're shipping Green Bay the number 12 overall pick. They had to protect against that. If Aaron Rodgers plays 2/3 of the snaps, in my mind, if Aaron Rodgers is on the field, the worst case that he plays like he did last year, when he had a broken thumb and he had worse talent, and even that was it would be a top 5 season in Jets history. That's not what we want. That's not what we traded for. That's not what we expect. But even that would be too good to have a really high draft pick with the increase of talent with the roster around him. So yeah, I would have liked a few conditions to be different, but I think we all kind of knew pick 42 and a 2 that could become a 1 next year was going to be 80% of the deal.
By the way, something else that's revving my engine. Let me throw this on the screen. I saw this from Seth Bradley. Okay, so for those who don't know, Seth Bradley, he works for the New York Jets. He is their director of feature productions and original programming. He's the guy that I got to work with for the Jets Twitter Die Hard documentary. He's the guy who's asking the questions. He's the lead guy. Before we came on, a couple hours ago, I just had gotten home from a long day at the radio station. I just peeked at his Instagram. He doesn't have a massive following, but again, we got familiar with each other in that. And I saw a couple of photos here of Aaron Rodgers, Seth Bradley. He's, by the way, Seth Bradley's in the black here with the green on his arm. That is Seth Bradley, for those who don't know. Aaron Rodgers, there's the rest of the great One Jets Drive team. And I said, Buffalo, the Aaron Rodgers One Jets Drive episode that is teased here is going to shut down the internet. Seth Bradley said this. Here's a quote tweet. It's going to be bigger than One Jets Drive. Trust me, it's about to be a movie. Stay tuned. Popcorn emoji. Oh my. what could this be with some sort of massive, oh man, the Aaron Rodgers arrival. Oh, this could be sexy, Buffalo. I am like, I can't tell you the last like, I'm excited all the time. That's just my disposition. But like in particular with this season and the palpable energy, the national attention, everything, I just feel like this is going to explode. This is going to take it to another level, and I'm excited for whatever the hell apparently the Jets have in store for this quote-unquote Jets movie that's going to release here, Buffalo.
Yeah, it's I'm here for all the Aaron Rodgers content, man. I've openly tweeted at Aaron Rodgers, hey, if he wants to make me his new Pat McAfee on Tuesdays, I'll
nice.
openly clear
guy.
my schedule. Yeah, just saying.
You will. Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know to throw that out there.
Well, and I also feel like, are we going to get a Hard Knocks update here, or what's going on there?
Okay, can we talk about this real quick?
Sure.
This is kind of pissing me off. I'm going to be honest. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers gets traded to the Jets, right? Or again, remember, Monday, agreed to in principle, handshake, final details, and then it was officially announced earlier today. In between Monday and today, I tweet out like a custom Hard Knocks graphic. I make it up real quick with a couple custom Jet jersey guys just saying, hey, HBO announced this thing already. There were hundreds of Jet fans who replied to that saying, no, F Hard Knocks, no, I don't want any part of it, distraction and all this other shit. And I'm going to be honest, now that I have 12,000 followers today, thank you, all the wonderful Jet fans for that. Flex on them, baby. Flex on them. Okay, I don't check all my mentions anymore. I'm too much of a big deal. I can't read all the comments that are coming in, but I just clicked the post and just scrolled on it for a while because, again, I don't get all the notifications anymore. And all the people that were crapping on Hard Knocks, first off, I need to just establish this point, Buffalo, before you even reply to this, that for folks who don't know, the 4 teams that are up for Hard Knocks are the New Orleans Saints, trash. The Washington Commanders, trash. The Chicago Bears, you can squint at the angle of the number 1 pick being traded, Justin Fields, that thing, and then the Jets. Come on. And number 2, there's a rule, people, that some of you may not be aware of. Okay. If Hard Knocks chooses you, you can't say no. So many Jet fans are like arguing with me, and at a certain point I just stopped because I'm like, here's the rule, you idiot. The rule is this. You can accept or deny it, I guess, but it's the friggin' rule. I'm not making this up. So if Hard Knocks says Jets, you're it, they can't go, well, I'm not so sure. Yeah. Well,
they
I'm
prefer
not so
they
sure,
want
bend
to,
over.
But you know.
Right. Yeah. Maybe the Jets don't want it for whatever reason. They've kind of indicated that, but Hard Knocks is happening. Can you just address this? Because it's, or give your opinion, because they say it's a distraction. The last time the Jets run Hard Knocks are in the AFC Championship game. Shut the fuck up. Like, I don't mean to swear, and I normally don't swear on this show, but just it is as much of a distraction as you want it to be. Is there a few more cameras? Aaron Rodgers brings national attention. Hey, I've got advice for you. Get used to it. It's going to happen. The primetime games are coming. We'll have a scheduled show coming up here in a couple weeks. It's coming. So shut the hell up. It's just so goddamn annoying. Anywho, thoughts? Hard Knocks, are you on the opposite side of me? Let's fight.
No, I don't care about Hard Knocks at all. I think that's like, it's not 2002. These guys, these are such public figures. The Pat McAfee show, when Aaron Rodgers is on it, is probably going to have more viewers than Hard Knocks. I would imagine. It's probably not close.
Say that one more time.
I think the Pat McAfee show with Aaron Rodgers on it will be more viewed than Hard Knocks.
Oh, yeah, there was like 500,000 people or so. Well, right. It was more than that, millions after, but live it was 500,000 people. Right. So, yeah, you're probably on.
Any of the distracting that could come out of Hard Knocks would come there. Again, the last time we were on Hard Knocks, it was some of the best memories of my Jets fandom. I think
Let's go get a gosh darn snack. Yes.
Some of us just haven't quite understood the assignment yet, and we're coming along, and we're still in this like poverty, scarcity. The cat's out of the bag. The Jets are fun. Eyes are on the Jets. Expectations are high, and being on Hard Knocks or not is not going to be the difference in what the Jets accomplish this season. It's just not. And if that is, then you don't have the right infrastructure in place. If that
absolutely.
If that tanks your season, then you weren't doing anything anyway. That's just the way I see it. I don't think it's a huge deal. I could go either way on it. But if I'm the NFL, the Jets are my number 1 choice, of course.
Yeah, obviously. And by the way, why don't Jet fans want it? Now, like I've heard this battle of like, well, One Jets Drive does a great job. And again, I was featured on their episode, so I should be a bigger advocate for them than anybody. they can still do their thing if they want to and do extra stuff. Like Jet fans, you should want this. Why? You get unbelievable access. Look what the Lions did. Look what the Cardinals did. We're inside the rooms as they're making roster cut decisions. Like some of that could be a level of uncomfortable, but like for the guys that are getting fired, but like in terms of entertainment value, come on, man. Hard Knocks. Ugh, it's just
you see Hawk in the chat right there. Hawk was just hanging out live with me for like 2 hours, and now he's here with you, right? Because there's not enough content to go around. Same idea, right? Same idea. There are like 10 dudes who have Jets YouTube channels, and people watch them all, and we have nowhere near the production quality of One Jets Drive and HBO. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be
100%. All right, I see we have a YouTube super chat, so let me get to that. And thank you so much, Golden Baby. And I love the specific nature of the super chat; it stands out even more. So happy Aaron Rodgers Day to all of you. Hopefully, this could be a big celebration for all of you guys. If you'd like, a YouTube super chat option is available. Feel free to hit that up on the YouTube. Also, the free way you guys can all contribute is by liking the video and hitting subscribe. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers. It's going to be a magical year, no matter what happens. So mute Viles here. Hey, Paul. Hey, Buffalo. Hope your night's well after the Rodgers presser. Just want to say we're going 13-4. Okay, I like this. Division winners. By the way, that'd be the first time since 2002. And I heard, again, I'm trying to catch up on all the Aaron Rodgers interviews because obviously he spoke everywhere today. And Nathaniel Hackett was on the Jets official broadcast. They did this overtime broadcast after. And Nathaniel Hackett said the last time the Jets won the division, his father was coaching the Jets. That's Paul Hackett. So he said it would be cool to go full circle. He said his dad used to talk about that with him, and that it would be full circle to win the division, obviously 20 plus years later with that. So that would be cool. It has not happened since 2002. With Aaron Rodgers in town, it's going to be special winning the Super Bowl. LFG Jets. I do want to drop this stat before we react to this, Buffalo, and it's this. Aaron Rodgers has a chance to join an elite company. Now, Aaron Rodgers is already a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's first ballot, so no matter what he does with the Jets, his legacy won't be affected from that standpoint. But I think the thing that's interesting is that how the legacy can grow, and it's this. There are only 2 starting quarterbacks in NFL history that have won a Super Bowl for 2 teams. Do you know who those 2 are, Buffalo? Trivia time, randomly?
Two in NFL history.
So there have been 2 starting quarterbacks.
Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Go ahead. Yeah, well, you nailed it. Yes, obviously, because Buffalo is the smartest man in the universe. But yes, Peyton Manning, obviously, Denver and Indy, Tom Brady, New England and Tampa. They're the only 2 starting quarterbacks in history that have done it. Others have gotten there, like Kurt Warner, obviously. He probably should have won it with that Cardinals-Steelers game outside of tone time. Jets legend catching that in the back of the end zone. So there have been others who have gotten to the doorstep but have not won it. Aaron Rodgers could be the 3rd quarterback of that group to do it. So just to answer a couple of things here, that's where the expectation should be. I've talked to a few Bills fans. They're kind of split. And obviously Buffalo's in Buffalo land over there. Half of the Bills fans have eye rolled and said, Aaron Rodgers doesn't mean anything. You Jets suck. I've heard that from some people. Okay. I've heard from some other notable Bills people, though, that said, I'm going to be honest. The Jets kicked our ass once and beat us when we had Josh Allen 99% healthy. True. And the second time, a broken Mike White ribbed ass Jet almost beat us. And then they just added Aaron Rodgers, and this Buffalo personality. I'll just name him out. He's public about it. Greg Thompson, who does great work. He's got 30,000 followers. Great Bills guy. You guys should follow him if you want other opinions. And he's scared of the Jets and what they're bringing to the table, as they should be. Because to me, it's a coin flip for who you want to call the favorite. I'm leaning on the confident side. I think the Jets should be the favorites to win the AFC East after this and what they have going on. And 13-4, again, I'll feel better about the schedule once we see it. It's kind of cool to get the full vibe of seeing it. But yeah, that's where the expectation should be. Buffalo, where are you at? What are your predictions? Yes, lay them out.
Well, let's say this, but let's get this clear about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has as many MVPs and as many Super Bowl trophies as the entire Jets and Bills franchise history combined. So
yes.
I think it matters a little bit that he's in our division. It's funny to see Dolphins fans lashing out who are terrified. That's how you know that Dolphins fans are scared. I know. I don't want to be. I do think I am predicting the Jets to win the division, and I've tried to not do that because it feels like such a homer pick as a Jet fan living in Buffalo. And I understand that in terms of the national media, the Bills are the favorites. They're the defending champions. They won way more games than us last year. I totally understand that. But the points you mentioned, the way that our defense was able to defend Josh Allen, and you add in Aaron Rodgers, And I think it's going to come down to those head-to-head games. I really do. And Miami has an excellent roster, but I don't have any faith that their quarterback is going to survive a 17-game season. So to me, it's a coin flip, Buffalo and the New York Jets. So get two really damn good playmakers at 15 and 43, and the games have yet to be played. But I don't think you make this move with the goal being to make a wild card. So let's go get a division. Come on.
And by the way, that of course would equal a home playoff game, which also has not happened in over 20 years, obviously. So that'd be cool to have a playoff game at MetLife. That would be amazing. Random, I see we have another super chat, but I just want to bring this up randomly. I've heard, and Antonio Cromartie, another one of my loyal followers, again at BoyGreen25, wink. But I've heard Cromartie actually complain about this in the past. That this is the part of editing that we don't get to see. There is a scene, obviously, in Hard Knocks where Cromartie is naming his 8, 9 children, and he's like, seemingly from the edit, he's struggling to name his own children, and he got a lot of flack for that. And that also shows you that obviously the Jets team doesn't get to really go through a great screening process of picking what they want shown and not. Hard Knocks obviously being its own entity. So I feel bad for a guy like Crow who's talked about it after, saying it was kind of a dick move by Hard Knocks to go, oh, Sally, Jeff, and then he just looked like a jerk on social media. So I feel bad for Crow. So hopefully not. Hopefully, I do hope though that we get some love, because obviously I saw I tweeted that out. I woke up early after. So what was that? No. What's the days, right? It had to have been Tuesday or Wednesday. I tweeted out the well, today is Wednesday, right? So it had to be Tuesday, I think. The Rex Ryan clip of showing up on Get Up with the old school Jets jacket, wearing his dad, Buddy Ryan's Super Bowl III ring, who, for those who don't remember, Rex Ryan's dad was with the Jets for like 6 or 7 years in the 60s and 70s. And he has that Super Bowl ring. God rest his soul. He passed away a handful of years ago. And Rex Ryan said, we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. I miss Rex. I miss that injection of life. I love the hype. So I hope that the Jets can bring it back in some capacity, even if it's a Hard Knocks fun, he does a pep speech for the team or something. That was cool. That was cool to see. I was all in my feels after the Aaron Rodgers trade.
Absolutely.
All in my feels.
Yeah. It's been so long, man. Finally, I'm so excited for the progress and trust the process. And hey, you're a bad fan if you didn't like 5 wins. We were only supposed to win 5 wins. 5 wins is more than 4 wins.
Yeah.
God, that is over. Thank God that is
over. 100%. And being able to go into any game knowing that you can win. I've said this before, but the Jets haven't been in this position, obviously. If you have a quarterback, when the schedule drops, because this is the kind of guy I am. I don't know how you are, Buffalo, when you look at the schedule. It's not easy for me to say 10-6. I know it's 17 games now, so 10-7 or what have you. Because to me, on a week-to-week basis, and maybe it's my optimistic disposition, I'm sure it is, that I go into every week saying, oh, the Jets can win this game. If they do this, they can win 100%. And I believe that, and I sell myself on it. So, having a guy like Aaron Rodgers and looking at the schedule going, well, 17-0, obviously. And we got Aaron gosh darn Rodgers, even though that probably won't happen. I'm just so excited for the season. It's especially for the schedule release, like I said, which is, by the way, is 2.5 weeks, something like that. So that should be juicy. Here's another super chat jumping in. Runaway 716. It's a great day for New York. Aaron Rodgers and Knicks win. So the Knicks, I didn't know that was official. Booyah. Oh, beautiful. Good for the Knicks. They haven't won a playoff series in a decade. My radio partner in the morning is a big-time Knicks fan, so God bless you and all the Knicks fans. Any Knicks, Jets fans, great. Way to take care of business against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So awesome. So maybe you guys will get the Heat in the next round. We'll see. That other game, I believe, is tonight. That's on. It just got underway. So, okay, I'll keep an eye out for that. If the Heat win, obviously, they'll eliminate, and then the Knicks could be in the Eastern Conference Finals. So we'll see. Juicy. Shout out to the Knicks fans as well. That is beautiful. Keep the questions coming, guys. Let us know. We'll be on for quite a bit here, another 30 minutes or so, something in that range. I see we got another super chat in here, so let me throw that up. Super chat, you cut the line. All the Jake Asman notes and quotes are a cup of coffee, Buffalo. I got to come up with my own phrase for that. I'm working on that. But Baki joining us. Viagra commercials say to call your doctor if your heart-on lasts longer than 4 hours. I should have called about 64 hours ago. Thanks, A-Rod. And A-Rod, see what you did there, Bucky. Very nice. Very nice. Again, I am in a numb state at this point. I don't know if there's an evolution of stages, but seeing him hold the 8 jersey, hearing him say things, I tweeted out a couple of clips. He did this team interview with Caroline Hendershot, who's one of the team reporters, and she said, Aaron, when did you decide the Jets, basically? And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, like, once I went through the process, it was clear the only choice was the Jets. So the 49ers crap, the Titans crap. He said it was like the Jets or nothing. Like, that's a team I wanted to play for. And they started walking through, like, this young core, the coaching staff. Like, why wouldn't I want to come to the Jets? And again, that just makes me go, a goo goo gaga, a hubba da wubba da what. Like, to hear Aaron Rodgers say that again, it's quite an evolution. I'll tell you this, Buffalo. I know you started your YouTube channel later than I did. My first YouTube season start, I started right before the 2020 season. That was the second season of Adam Gase, and that was a 2-14 year of doing every week pre-game shows and post-game shows for that season. And then now with Aaron Rodgers, it's just been a magical journey, man. It's magical. Yeah, that's brutal too. What a season to start, right?
Yeah, I think about that. Maybe I'll go back and watch some of the videos of what you guys were doing during that stretch. Like what was the game preview video when we're 2-11 or whatever? Man, hey, you got to cut your teeth somewhere. Appreciate you soldiering through it. Yeah, and the thing is, for the first time we have in my life, we have a quarterback who is he the best quarterback in the league anymore? No, that's Patrick Mahomes. We know that. Although just as recently as 2 years ago, he was the second best quarterback in the league. I think we've done some revisionist history with the last year. The man does have 2 of the last 3 MVPs. His 3 last seasons are 111 touchdowns and 21 interceptions, which, my goodness gracious. But on any given day, he feels, believes, and knows in his bones, I'm the baddest MFer on the field. Right. And it's not hyperbole. It is what it is, because he's that dude. And when you're going in to Buffalo, or you're going into Kansas City, or you're going into Cincinnati, you have that dude. And I'm sorry, it was a good year to need a quarterback. Jimmy G is very handsome. He's made a lot of money. Derek Carr, I think, has been underrated. Ryan Tannehill, oh my God, no. But none of the copium around any of those quarterbacks, none of it was giving us the ceiling of Aaron Rodgers. That is not a take. That is not an opinion. That is not a prediction about a draft pick or any of that. That is just an undeniable fact. The ceiling of what you can accomplish with an elite quarterback is higher than the ceiling you can accomplish without one. That is not a take. And that's what the Jets have accomplished here.
Let's throw this one out here. Bobby, I see we also have another super chat, and I'll get that in just a second. Giants-Jets, Monday Night Football, Week 1, 9/11. NFL should do it. Are you a fan of that? I know we're going to get that. That technically is a quote-unquote Jets road game, I believe. So the Jets are going to have this extra home game because of that, which is kind of nice. So projecting for Week 1, everyone says primetime games. Peter King highlighted that the Jets are going to be featured in one of the big slots in Week 1. He believes either Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. Obviously, it can't be the Chiefs because the Jets play the Chiefs at home. So they can't open the season against the Chiefs. They're the defending Super Bowl champions, so they open at home. Are you cool with Giants-Jets, Week 1 Monday Night Football? Is that something you'd like to kick off the season with?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I don't know if they would do this now just because this team has become far less marketable in the past couple of seasons, but I would love nothing more than to...
Where do you think they'll go then? If you don't think Jets-Giants, what say you for the start of the season then?
I think the Bills are a possibility. I think the Eagles are a possibility just because they're a big name team. Now they're an NFC opponent, so I don't know. They maybe want some better storylines, but I don't think this is what they will do. But I would prefer to just beat the brakes off the New England Patriots just to start the season. Just get that over with. Just delicious. To start the freaking season. That's what I would want to do, man.
I just have to say, delicious. There is nothing. I'm going to be honest. One of the first things I thought of when Aaron Rodgers when the Jets got Aaron Rodgers is, oh my gosh, I can't wait to freaking walk into Foxborough and just destroy, like 88-0. Like, I mean, just annihilate them. And on everyone, maybe we should start kneeing more forwards deep. Like, just, I want to destroy the New England Patriots. I've got so many beaten memories I have to talk about with my therapist on a week-to-week basis that I'm just ready to unleash on New England. So that is number 1 in black permanent marker. that's circled. That is circled feverishly and aggressively on the schedule when that drops. I cannot wait for that. So that'd be a great, beautiful, soft layup. They say what's that in college football, right? You play Technical Institute of Rhode Island, like to kind of rev the engine, get the players going to start a season. Who would have thought New England is that? New England is clearly the fourth team in the division. When's the last time we were able to say that? I mean, it feels fantastic. It just it feels fantastic. All right, another super chat here. Sir Robin, BYU Zach Wilson guy here, but I'm even more excited for the Jets now than I was when Zach was drafted. I do want to address this because there's been a few things. It hasn't been a major point today outside of the Aaron Rodgers great quote. He will make my life a living hell in practice, but I will make his life off the field heaven, which I saw Buffalo pause. Excuse me, but so you could take that where you
I don't know if I've ever said that about a coworker, like when starting a new job. I'm going to make your life out of the office heaven. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, right. The quote from Buffalo, right? It's a press conference. We're introducing Sally here. Buffalo thoughts, life hell off at heaven. Thanks. Sorry, what? So, yes, there is a little bit of that. But I will say, I think he's taking a track because obviously he liked the tweet. So he knew about the hell thing, obviously, heading in. And I will say, I think this is great news for Zach, in all seriousness. I think, and obviously, Zach, I haven't got a chance to tweet out these nuggets yet, but I'll try to do it later. Albert Breer wrote a story where the Jets basically convinced Zach Wilson, because obviously they were really aggressively pursuing him behind the scenes and obviously in public, saying, hey, man, we want to fix what we did wrong, basically. We need you to sit, learn from this guy, and you will eventually be unleashed from the cage, and everything's going to be great. Like, just really embrace this opportunity. And obviously, he has embraced it because he's still here. So I'm really looking forward to what this is. It's his idol, someone he's looked up to, and he won't be in the spotlight. He's going to be right there. Again, I don't think it guarantees that young Padawan here is going to be a Jedi. I don't think it guarantees that Aaron Rodgers is literally going to take him under his wing, although Aaron Rodgers said all the right things, like showing up to voluntary workouts, which, again, he's supposed to be there practicing, working out tomorrow. It's not an official, like, practice, but, being around the team, working out and doing those kind of things tomorrow. So it sounds like he's doing the right things, but I don't even need him to be this direct teacher of saying, oh, Zach, you need to throw it like this. But just being around him, I think, by osmosis should help. So I'm really excited for Zach because I think this is a great chance for him. It doesn't guarantee that he's going to be the savior in a couple of years or turn it around, but I think it can only help Buffalo.
No, I mean, I still think there's a greater than 0% chance he turns it around. Now, it would be one of the biggest turnarounds ever, probably at least in modern quarterback history, right? There's still, a 5% chance. I think maybe that happens. But I'll say this about when Saleh and JD talk about Zach. I don't quite believe it, but I believe that they believe it. I do. I don't think
I see.
I think Robert Saleh's, when he just hypes up every player and we think it's coach speak, I think that's just him, man. I really think he believes it. Now they know they can't bank on Zach. Obviously, that's why they just got Aaron freaking Rodgers. But I do think they believe he can improve and have some sort. I think he'll have some sort of career in the league. He's not going to be Johnny Manziel or Jamarcus Russell. At the worst, I think he will be able to stick around as a backup. And I've said routinely throughout the offseason that I don't think, obviously, Zach Wilson is a franchise quarterback. However, if he's third year in the NFL, a number 2 overall pick, who reportedly has a great work ethic and is super smart, if we can't turn him into a backup, then our coaching staff is ass. I don't.
Yeah.
2 + 2's got to equal 4 somewhere there. If you can't turn him into Chase Daniel with his tools, then our coaching staff sucks. That's just the way I see it, man. I'm not worried about Zach being. Yeah, I'm not worried about Zach being a backup if we have a good coaching staff.
Yeah, that's why I aggressively push back on a lot of the people that have said throughout this offseason, well, Zach Wilson can't be your backup. That's unthinkable. He's got to be QB3. And I'm like, then what the hell is everyone doing here? That he can't beat out Tim Boyle, who has 75,000. Let me make this clear. 75,000 guaranteed. All the people came out and said, Tim Boyle, clear QB2. He sucks. He started 3 games. He's lost them all. He has more interceptions than touchdowns. Like, what are we talking about? How is Zach Wilson go from number 2 pick? Last offseason, people were like, he's the savior. He's turning it around. And then a year later, Tim Boyle's clearly better. What the flying hoot are you talking about? Like, so again, I'm not saying Zach Wilson is Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, for Pete's sake, let's kind of see what the coaching staff's going to do here. Maybe he should have been, kind of riding up from, the get-go, but we haven't seen it. Let's also get some of this in here, Buffalo. The NFL draft, which is, of course, tomorrow night, first round. Jets now picking at 15. Yeah, what's up? Oh, yes, yes.
I'm just pumped.
Yeah, yeah. I like the hype. I like the pump up. So it is a different year because I don't think we've had, at least for my channel, have not had all the same draft experts on. We had Trevor Sickman on earlier this week, which was cool. In Buffalo, I saw you jump in there for that. Unfortunately, I wish the Aaron Rodgers trade would have happened before that. So a lot of that kind of got run over by the Aaron Rodgers trade, unfortunately. But nonetheless, there's still some great draft nuggets in there. But I ask you now that the Jets are going from 13 to 15. Let me just ask you on that bare bones step. Does that drastically change the thought process by the Jets or a position they would attack now picking 2 picks later with New England and now Green Bay in front of them?
I don't think it changes their priorities. Obviously, I think that whatever was left of the Paris Johnson Jr. dream has officially died, right? I think it was a stretch. He was going to be there at 13, okay. 15, I think almost assuredly not. And it's interesting to see what the Packers do. I think for me, the Packers either have their eye on a weapon for Love, whether that be a tight end or the receiver JSN. And that's really the interesting piece, because I do think that if the Jets are faced with either taking JSN or like the 4th best offensive tackle, I think that's a decision that they'd have to think long and hard about. The guy I thought my predictive pick at 13 was Broderick Jones. I still think that's probably where they go, either Broderick Jones.
That scares me a little.
Yeah. No, it definitely, there's, to me, Peter Skoronski and Paris Johnson are definitely more sure things than Jones, although his traits and upside, you could argue, is as high as any of the tackles.
Sure.
And then Darnell Wright, who is maybe there's a lower ceiling because the value of right tackle isn't as much, but I don't care about that a ton. I think Darnell Wright is a little bit more ready to play, and there could be some guard versatility to make sure he gets on the field. So I think it's going to be between Broderick Jones and Darnell Wright. As fascinating as Kalijah Kancey is, I just think taking a reach on that much of an outlier, a guy who I still think there's 70% chance he's going to be awesome, but like the 30% chance he's going to be a bust, where Darnell Wright, I'm really confident of a floor of a competent right tackle. And I think that there's a little boomer bust with Kalijah Kancey, where there's never been a defensive tackle in NFL history with that arm length that's been good. So it's just like, ooh, I don't know. It's a little risky. I think Broderick or Darnell Wright is the pick.
Yeah, I will just carry on the Broderick Jones point. So the thing that scared me initially was when he came out of high school, people said, he's raw but talented. When he's coming out of college, I said, he's talented but raw. So saying the same thing a few years later still kind of scares me, because how much longer is he going to be raw? Number 2, I recently read from Albert Breer that he has some maturity issues and some of those things. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of rubbing me the wrong way. Also, people ask, why did it take him 1,000 years to start at Georgia? Like, he's super talented. Is Georgia just that good that, hey, really good talent takes a while to go? Or if he's as talented as he said, shouldn't he have been starting from day one? That seems to be a legitimate question.
They got a 1st-round tight end who wasn't even their top tight end last year,
Yeah.
They're stacked.
Yeah, I guess it's true. So maybe they are just stacked in this way. So, but the maturity thing kind of scares me a little bit, because, it's that's just something a little bit that rubs me the wrong way. Again, the best offensive lineman I prefer, and I've preferred since day one, is Peter Skoronski. I saw someone just said, would love if everyone who fears Skoronski's short arms, he pulls a Slater and says, hold my beer. It would probably be like this with T-Rex arms, from apparently the arms that Peter Skoronski has. So hold my beer will be this, probably. But again, the same thing. Rashawn Slater had very similar size in a lot of these different categories. Apparently, according to Dane Brugler, the Jets view him as a tackle, and to me, that's spicy. If the Jets really view Skoronski as a tackle, and apparently Matt Miller just did an interview with Rich Samini on his podcast, and he says only a very small handful of teams even view Skoronski as a tackle. So if you combine that draft nugget with the Dane Brugler draft nugget, then the Jets, in theory, would be one of the few that view him in that nature. And since tackles are higher position of value than guard, then, man, maybe there is a reality where Skoronski can slip down the board. Because remember, Elijah Tucker, the Jets traded up to get the guard, Elijah Tucker, and that was at 14. So maybe Skoronski's the one who falls. If so, he's a guy that's high on my priority list. Very high.
I didn't mention him, I guess, because I didn't think he was going to fall to 15, but I have seen that. And again, your buddy Conor Rodgers did indicate that most of the team. Now it's tough. What's smoke? Does everyone want to say, yeah, we think he's a guard, so they fall to them? I don't know if he makes it past Chicago and Tennessee, but yeah, man. If he's there, I'm rolling with the short arms of Peter Skoronski over the quote unquote ceiling of Broderick Jones. I just am, because you you're getting a good football player in Peter Skoronski. You know it. You know you're getting a really good football player, and if it's rock paper scissors of who's right guard and who's right tackle with him in AVT, and then he's a good tackle for a while. Whatever, he plays everywhere this year. Then next year, Becton's left tackle, he's right tackle. Then third year, he sticks in at guard, replacing Lakin, and then him and AVT are your guards for the next 8 years. I think that he's got as high of a floor as any player in this class. And sometimes the pick is about not messing it up and not overthinking it. If Peter Skoronski is there, I don't imagine there being a player worth taking over him.
All right, let's go to the other side. Some people you wouldn't want to draft. So obviously you think Elijah Cansey sucks, one of the worst players in this draft, and you have no love or anything for him whatsoever. He's, when you have, it's off camera, obviously we can't see it, your dartboard that obviously has a beautiful picture of LaMarcus Joyner and his family. I assume Elijah Cansey's next to him. What are the other photos that are on that bullseye, Buffalo, that you hate? With
the do not draft list? Yes. Well, Elijah Cansey is in a tier that I call talented misfits, guys who are super talented, but I don't think are fits with the Jets. Another guy in that tier is Nolan Smith, who you could argue is a top 15 talent in this draft.
Oh, definitely.
We know how the Jets, Robert Saleh, overinvested on defensive line when he was in San Fran. So maybe, you move on from Carl Lawson, you save $50 million, you draft Nolan Smith if the talent is too rich to pass up. I don't think the Jets would take him, but I don't see even though he was excellent against the run, I don't see a 240-pound edge rusher in this scheme. I think he's a 3-4 outside linebacker all the way who might do some off-ball stuff. I don't see an.
All right, react to this comp. On the Ritz and Meany podcast, this is what he heard from a scout. Okay. Baby Von Miller to Nolan Smith. What say you to that?
Not Von Miller is the best finesse pass rusher in NFL history. So if he's going to be that, then sure. He's super talented, right? Micah Parsons, you could say that too. Now, I didn't see him win. Now, both of those guys are smaller, but Micah Parsons converts speed to power with bull rushes on grown NFL offensive linemen as September as a rookie. That's a tough ass. Micah Parsons' play strength is ridiculous. And I haven't seen evidence that Nolan Smith can quite do that. So I think he is a talented misfit. I think some team is going to take him in the top 20 and be very happy they did it. I just don't think it makes sense for the Jets.
Yeah, I will just add on to the Nolan Smith point real quick. The thing that scares me is it seems like the pass rush is projection because he actually, according to the analytics, has really good numbers in terms of run defense. You would think the opposite for a smaller player because you can, in theory, get pushed around when you have someone of that size. But actually, according to the analytics, he's actually pretty good in run defense. The pass rush stuff, I think he has 12 sacks in 4 years. Maybe Georgia didn't use him that way. We've heard complaints about that for other really talented Georgia defenders, like Trayvon Walker is another example, a guy that you're projecting could do this, but hey, Georgia didn't ask him to do this, so that's why you have to perceive it in that way. So again, the only thing though on Nolan Smith, besides what you said, is again his physical and athletic comp are eerily similar to first-round bust Darren Lee. The height, weight, and almost everything is the same. That scares the shit out of me. Of like tween. Yeah, another one. These tweener guys who you're like, well, if you use him in the right way as his chess piece, like Vernon Goldston was much bigger, heftier weight-wise, so he's like different. But like he did something at Ohio State to just say, don't do that, do this entirely different thing. And then it doesn't work, and then you're playing this constant game of flipping them back between all these things, and then it's over. So like I am a little nervous about Nolan Smith, but do I just trust Robert Saleh to figure it out? He's a great defensive mind. Maybe. Maybe. Is there anyone else on your do not draft list? People that you hate and their families?
I mean, I guess I would include like Luca Van Ness in there.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say it's funny because I just took Brian Branch in a mock, but I traded down into like the 20s. So I would say Brian Branch at 15, no, even though he's the best safety.
But you would take him in the 20s?
I would definitely consider it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I could say
Okay.
even Cansey, like Cansey too. Cansey, if you
Oh, take
slide
him off the
down.
dartboard.
Oh yeah, dude. If you let's say hypothetically you trade back, I don't know, to
What's
23
more
and you
likely, trade back or trade up?
trade back.
Okay. Okay. I've heard because of the all-in mentality of Aaron Rodgers, like F them picks. Like again, even if he's going to be here for a few years, because already the Jets don't have a lot of picks in this draft. I think they have 5 off the top of my head. Right, first, second, no third, 2, 1, 4, 2 fifths. Yes, 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, they have 5. So with that, you could say, hey, we want quality over quantity. We're just going to get a lot of home runs. So I've heard both arguments: trade back, recoup picks, or trade up and just say F them, try to get good talent. So I was just kind of curious about that. But go ahead. Yeah, to your point.
I could see it. I could see the argument being like, you know what? So we really want we'll come away with, I don't know, 3 or 4 players in this draft that could really just fill holes and be impact players.
That
Right
happened
away.
in 2009. Sanchez, Sean Green, Matt Slauson, all 3 key pieces of those runs.
Yeah, maybe. And you know what? I actually think maybe there's a better chance that they take, I don't know, maybe they take those 2 5th-round picks and come up from 43 to get someone that they really, everything is on the table to me. Like JD, it's like a beautiful mind with all the drawings and the formulas. And I don't think it's a guarantee one way or the other. So that's why I'm super excited. I like the idea of, I love the idea of trading back up to like the 29 or 30 and you get that bonus pick in the first round that no one's expecting. I don't think it's likely, but that'd be fun.
All right, let me float this one out there. This was a rumor this morning. I did a video about it right before I left for work. Matt Miller. So they had this NFL Draft Buzz article on ESPN Plus, and basically what they're hearing about each team draft week. Matt Miller said the Jets have done a ton of work on Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he said that he's going to be gone by 15, where the Jets currently pick, but he might be on the board for the Packers at 13. If you want a Thursday night surprise, also pause, but a Thursday night surprise that it could be the Jets trading up in the draft potentially for JSN, and he suggested ahead of the Packers. So you could just use Houston as the example. I broke out the draft value chart, and it's impossible for the Jets unless they fuck around with the second rounder, like you give up the second, but you swap like a third or something. Like, and unless you're playing that crazy game, even if you combine all their day 3 picks, it's not enough to make the jump from 15 to 12. You'd have to dip into either 2024 picks or a player or something. So what do you make of, again, that potential trade up? And number 2, the player, JSN, is potentially, they just want to add another playmaker for Aaron Rodgers. What do you make of that report that came out this morning?
I think JSN falls into the bucket of hell yeah at 15, but hard pass at moving up and paying that price of us. I don't view him as like I did Garrett Wilson last year, or obviously Jamar Chase level wide receiver, or Jalen Waddle, or even Devontae Smith. I think it's kind of a mid wide receiver class. So he's a really good player. I would definitely heavily consider taking him at 15, but I think that's too rich for me to come up to get JSN.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm quite in the absolutely not, because I'm sure if they did it, I would be like, oh my God, they just got JSN, which again, partly would
they
be
disagree
awesome.
and they think he's that great. So then, yeah.
Well, that too, obviously, because that's how I feel about anytime they draft someone. And if it was someone even I didn't like in the again, you just mentioned a bunch of players who are on your like do not draft list. Like if the Jets selected one of the players that were on my do not draft list, I'd be like, well, they're getting paid millions, and I'm just I'm on my couch over here, 100%. Like they must know something that obviously I don't. So I could quickly turn that page. And the other thing, I mean, it would just be kind of funny that the Packers, who have not drafted a first round receiver since 2002, Aaron Rodgers was drafted in 2005, in their first week of getting together, hey, Aaron, I know what your ex-lover never did. Watch what I can do with my tongue. Boom, first round pick, wide receiver. Like that's like, ooh, that's you want to get some brownie points with a new lover? Throw one of those at him. Give him a first round wide receiver. Something their old lover never did. Boom. I think that'd be and plus getting a first round receiver, that's sexy. Everyone loves getting the first round jerseys. Everyone likes getting. Think about that. Garrett Wilson. You have old JSN in the slot. Alan Lazard on the outside. Mecole Hardman can obviously play in the slot too. So you kind of have a lot of option there. It could be sexy. Could be very sexy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's it's expensive price to pay to swap with Green Bay there. and then trade back up to leapfrog them. If you think about the cumulative, the swap from 13 to 15 is worth like a late third, early fourth round pick. And then you're spending like a second next year, hypothetically, to cut. So
it's 150 points.
Yeah, that's a lot of cheese, man. I don't know, but we'll see. I'd be excited. I'd immediately say, okay, I'm an idiot. JSN is Garrett Wilson 2.0. Let's go. That would be my instant reaction.
I just want to say, so there's a comment on the screen, Michael Mayer at 15. I just want to say, yes. Golden Domer, baby. Michael Mayer.
He's on my do not draft. He's on my do not draft list. Man. I didn't even know we were considering this. Now, hear me out.
Yeah.
It's not the player. Okay. He is a phenomenal.
I love the player.
He's a phenomenal prospect, and he's the most complete tight end in the draft.
I agree. Concur. Yes.
I don't think that a top 15 pick is crazy, like for a team, say Green Bay, 13. But my problem is I want to lean towards immediate impact in this draft more so than others. And tight end is one of the slowest,
historically speaking. That's true
in the NFL. So in 3 years from now, if they took Michael Mayer, he's better than Tyler Conklin, CJ Uzomah, and Jeremy Rucker at all things tight ends do. I fully believe that. Mm-hmm. That's how good he is. But year one, if I need a blocking rep, am I getting it from CJ Uzomah or young Michael? I'm going to CJ Uzomah. Even if I need a passing rep, yes, I'm going to CJ Uzomah, who played borderline borderline offensive tackle for the Jets last year and has got a little gray in his beard.
I think I'm going Mayer. Mayer.
Even look at what elite tight ends. Go look what they did their first year, and it takes a while to pop. So, to me, I gotta get. And if you think he's Mark Andrews, okay, then fine. At some point, the talent is king. But I gotta see a path to a dude playing a role right away. And if I'm gonna wait on somebody, I'm gonna wait on someone I think is like a franchise left tackle, and probably not a tight end.
Again, if I was going to give a modest comparison to what I believe Michael Mayer is going to be, grab Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews, and they have an aggressive baby. Michael Mayer. Boom. That's the kind of player he is. That's for sure. Come on, jump on the train. Let me throw this one at you, Buffalo. What is the pick at 15? Roger Goodell steps up to the podium with the 15th overall pick. The New York Jets select blank. Would make you spit out your drink, shock, stunned. I cannot believe the Jets just picked whoever that is. What would give you that sort of visceral reaction if the Jets drafted that player?
Quentin Johnson, maybe.
The receiver at TCU. Okay,
someone like that.
That one would be kind of off the wall. Yeah, I could see. Okay.
Yeah, if they thought, or Zay Flowers, right? If they a wide receiver not named Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Quarterback to me, after all this Zach Wilson stuff about like. Yeah, right. But that's what I'm saying. Because there's been some people, even Zach Rosenblatt floated that on his article. And I'm going to be honest, Anthony Richardson, if somehow he's on the board at 15, I mean, that's exciting. But with everything we were just sold about the Zach Wilson thing, it would be so we didn't know Anthony Richardson was going to be on the board at 15. That would be so crazy that it seemed like they had this great plan the entire time with Zach Wilson. Oh, we're going to train him and do all this. Oh shit, Anthony Richardson, Zach who? That one to me at this point, now after hearing everything, would make me go, that would surprise me now. I would have to think an immediate Zach Wilson trade's in the works, obviously, because that would be that one.
See, that would be the opposite of the JS. The JSN trade was, here's what the Green Bay Packers never did. But to me, doing all this stuff with Aaron Rodgers and trying to win a Super Bowl and not taking somebody who can help him do that with the first pick and taking that would be, even if it's Will Levis who fell, who I think would be a decent quarterback. You got to get somebody who can help you compete right now. You have to.
Another one that would probably make my jaw drop, and I have to find it, which, by the way, I will give another reminder. We are doing, and I said I would never do this, so it's kind of funny. A year later, I immediately do it. I am doing a live stream tomorrow night for the entire first round. It starts at 7:45. It'll be myself and a sports comedian. You guys may know him, Brandon Carney. We will be doing the entire live. It's from 7:45 to midnight. It's a long-ass stream. It's on my YouTube channel. We're going to have special guests, former players, analysts, all kinds of stuff. We're just going to react to the live first round and go crazy. Another pick, though, using that shameless plug, boop, the other pick that would make my jaw drop would be Bijan Robinson if he was on the board at 50.
Oh, yeah.
That's one, because, again, you think about this guy who on most consensus big boards is a top 3 or top 5, elite talent. and blue chipper and all this other stuff. Like, again, because the Jets have sold us, although they cut Ty Johnson today with a weird injury designation. So, again, yeah, all of a sudden a elite spot has opened up in the rotation. Although I'm going to be honest, I didn't want Ty Johnson back, so I'm kind of glad he's gone. No offense. Sorry to, kind of dance on the grave of somebody, but, that one would be another one that kind of like, because I love the player and I'm a former running back, so like I love running backs, but if they went Bijan Robinson, with everything they've sold us, the bill of goods that Breece Hall is going to be ready, that one would kind of shock me. Although you can use him in a lot of ways. He can run, he could catch, he could do everything, but that one would kind of surprise me too. Yeah.
That would be it's like, okay, double-headed monster backfield. Like
oh my God. Could you think?
Yeah, that would be if Breece Hall comes back anything like himself, that would be one of the best running back tandems in NFL history. I don't care. I don't need to take Bijan Robinson. I don't need to see Bijan Robinson take a snap in the NFL to know that. Come on. The dude's going to be an absolute stud. It's Saquon Barkley 2.0. But I just think the allocation of resources has to come into play somewhere, right? And you gotta probably go look in a different direction. But that he is arguably the best talent in the draft. He's unbelievable. He really is.
Couple quick rapid fire before we get you out of here, Buffalo. First off, is Breece Hall soft? Okay. The Zeke rumors came out. Breece is immediately like, we don't need Zeke in here. I don't know. I thought he was a wimp. I'm like, come on, don't be a puss, man. Like, if they bring competition in, guess what? I'm Breece Hall. You can bring him in. He can hold my jock strap. He ain't playing because I'm Breece Hall. That's how I would react. That's how I feel. Well, that's how I did react. And that's how I would feel like I would also react if I was in the same position as Breece Hall. I'm like, well, I was just the 35th overall pick, whatever they traded up for me. I don't give a flying hoot about old ass Zeke. That doesn't do anything. But he came off with a soft thing and then deleted his tweet. I was like, what a wuss. So super soft. What say you?
I didn't agree with him saying that. I didn't take it that way. I think he's just we got to remember, what are these guys, 22 years old. So
yeah, right.
I think he was just more in the mindset of, I like our teammates. I think it was projecting confidence, but I think he realized it didn't come out that way. That's why he probably deleted it. But in terms of fans, when talking about roster construction, yeah. Okay. We don't need that player. Okay. You don't stop at what you need. Not needing a player, that's removed from our vocabulary. No longer allowed to say it. Not needing a player is not sufficient enough evidence to not add them. Okay. Did the 49ers need Deebo Samuel, Christian Ayuk, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey? Did the Eagles need Devontae Smith and AJ Brown and maybe draft JSN and have 2 first-round picks? No, the team, you know what I mean? The Chiefs need Tyreek Hill and no, teams that win it all are freaking stacked, man. So if they add Ezekiel Elliott for $2 million and we're all upset because that's disrespectful to Michael Carter. Well, Michael Carter, number 1, I love you, but maybe average more than 4 yards a carry and don't fumble in the biggest loss of the game. And number 2, beat his ass out in camp. And then we can cut Ezekiel Elliott and it's no harm, no foul. Again, every time you talk about adding any player, we don't need him because we have Mid-Mick Johnson or whatever, some 3rd-round pick I haven't accepted sucks yet. Not anymore because our roster is actually good. But all those players we said we didn't need because of so-and-so, all those so-and-sos have gotten a 0 playoff appearances in a decade. So I'm kind of over that.
And maybe I'm popular taker. Michael Carter sucks, man. He was good first year. He averaged 3.3 yards per carry last year?
He had a down year. I don't know if he sucks.
Okay.
I think he had a bad year. We'll find out this year. This is the make or break year because he was really good his rookie year. He was breaking tackles.
Give me an adjective. Coming off last year, you have to give an adjective to Michael Carter. What is it, Buffalo?
Disappointing. He had a disappointing year.
Sucks. That's what I would say. Disappointing. Could try better next year. Like, okay. Like, he was really inspiring his first year, and second year was sucks. Now, I'm not saying you have to cut him. Okay, bounce back. You said his motivation. Because apparently he listens because he blocks people left and right, apparently. I know. Talk about a soft running back room. What the hell? So, I don't know.
Think Breece Hall is soft, though. I don't think Breece Hall is soft at all, man.
Okay. I'm just trying to give him bulletin board material. So, really, I'm looking out for him. I'm trying to be a real trooper here.
Fire him up.
I'm trying to be a real trooper here. Okay, to end it for us again. If any super chats come in, of course, that will change my ending. But for ending, prediction time, and we'll just do it for the first 2 days. And the Jets only have 2 picks in the first 2 days. Your final prediction: 15th overall, the Jets select who? Buffalo, put it on the line. What's going to happen? Predictive mock. Predictive.
Pick 15.
Correct. Yes.
Darnell Wright.
Interesting. By the way, I friggin' love that. He's only right tackle. Saul friggin' right tackle. Let's let Mekhi Becton and Dwayne Brown choke each other for the other starting job. Sign
who
me
was
up.
also only a right tackle? Tristan Wirfs. Remember that?
I know. I brought that up to Trevor on the stream, saying, the Jets, and I know this to be true after all the Jets people I talked to, the only reason they didn't take Tristan is because they thought he could only play right tackle. By the way, he's lining up to play left tackle this season. F me. That's all I have to say. F me. Are you freaking kidding me? You thought he couldn't play, and then a few years later, he ends up playing it anyway, and he was an all-pro? Jeez-a-loo. So, I'm not saying that guarantees, so obviously Darnell Wright will be this all-pro that Tristan Wirfs was, but don't let that hold you back, because you have a hole at right tackle and left tackle. So, Don't let that be the difference. Okay, I love that at 15. All right, 43 prediction time. It's obviously harder because we have no idea what any of the picks are going to be, so to possibly project who will be there is an impossible task, but Buffalo, you master in doing the impossible task. 43.
I'm not going to go center here because I think they can afford to wait because of the Conor McGovern signing. So I think
I've heard that take. Yes.
I think they do stay in the trenches, though. Other side of the ball, Keanu Benton, defensive tackle, Wisconsin.
Okay. Very, very chalky. That's a very popular pick at 43. But hey, if it's chalky, it might be right. I will say, by the way, last thing here, Conor McGovern. Oh my goodness. Let me pull that number up. Guys, and I heard a lot of people apparently complaining. Maybe Jets fans just like to complain. Maybe Jet fans are soft. I'm just calling everyone soft tonight. Soft? I don't know what's happening here, but let me bring this one up because it'll probably take a while to find through Twitter search. But Conor McGovern's contract numbers came out. Guys, he's getting paid I think I'm getting paid more to do this YouTube show than he is getting paid to play center for the Jets. Oh, here's the numbers. Unbelievable. I'm going to throw this up on the screen too. Did you see this, Buffalo?
No.
Okay, here are the numbers for Conor McGovern. Okay, 1 year, $1.9 million, $1.25 million guaranteed, $750,000 signing bonus, no other bonuses or incentives. He was paid $9 million per year on his last year with the deal with the Jets. $9 million to $1.9 million. Conor McGovern. So for the people bitching in the back about Conor McGovern, oh man, why'd we bring him back? He's not an elite center, but he's not a shitty center. He's average. He's run-of-the-mill. He's just kind of plug and play. Appeared in 48 out of 50 possible games over the last 3 years, and you're getting him for more than some of the backups. Dan Feeney got more money than this. Dan Feeney. What? Man, not bad, Buffalo. Not bad. I don't know. Because again, we're I don't know, a week of the draft. When they signed him today, yesterday, something like that. So apparently didn't get the offers he was looking for. Look at that money, baby. Look at that goddamn money. Nice. He got chump change for that. That's beautiful.
That is kind of reminds me of Quan Alexander last year, where it's just dollar for dollar one of the best value signings of the entire free agency. And Conor McGovern gets so much hate. Well, we make it. Let's be honest. Jets Twitter and online is full of people who do nothing but make excuses for guys who don't even play football on the field. When I turn on my TV, I haven't seen Mekhi Becton and Denzel Mims in 3 years, but they're both Hall of Famers. And Conor McGovern, who's been a decent center, who never misses games and just shows up and freaking plays, is trash to us. That's kind of crazy to me. And you're always want to look for an upgrade for him, but I think that screams to me backup center / guard. And now a rookie center can come in and they can compete. Or you know what? They still might sign Ben Jones. If Conor McGovern's your backup, what's stopping you from signing Ben Jones post draft if you don't like the way the board falls at center there and having elite depth? It's a great signing.
By the way, Zach Rosenblatt said that as well on the Can't Wait podcast, tweeted out the clip. Ben Jones is still very much on the table, apparently, for the New York Jets. And now seeing that money, you can see 100% why. Why not have more depth? Either one of them could get injured, have more guys. And again, I think now that Aaron Rodgers is officially here, ring chasing. I should make a post about ring chasing. Get your ring chasing here. Anyone looking for a ring, join the team. That's what's going to happen now with Aaron Rodgers here. You could sign a bunch of guys for dirt cheap. Again, we'll see with Quan Alexander. Ritzenmead says Jets and Quan are in constant contact. If the Jets don't go linebacker the draft, they could turn right around and bring in Quan, which, by the way, I would love. And obviously, he did not get the deal he was looking for. So we'll see what's going on there. All right, Buffalo, this has been a fun hour plus getting into this. Plug us. What do you have coming up for draft week? What do you have planned here for the next couple of days on the stream, on the channel?
So tomorrow I'll probably hang out like before the draft, talk about it. I won't go live during the draft. You guys know where to hang out. That's the Jets Talk 24/7. I think I'll be on
Of
there
course.
Saturday at some point to talk
Yeah, I just
ball with
got a
them.
text about trying to lock in my time. I just saw that earlier. We were on, so I did not answer Ryan, but yeah, he gave me a few times for day 3 of the draft.
Yeah.
I got pushed to day 3. I'm a little disappointed. Wish I would have gotten a primer slot, but you know, I'm just glad to be. I'm just glad to be invited on the show. But yeah, I got pushed to day 3. Yeah.
That's cool. I think I'm doing day 3 too. I think I was off.
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say I got day. I'm on day 1, so I don't know.
No, I don't think there's any.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. I was off for a day 2, I think, but I have to work, so I'm just saying. No, I think I'm hanging out with them on Saturday. I have to double check. And other than that, same old stuff. I gotta do more collabs. I gotta get actually.
Yes.
Green Bean is coming out eventually, which I know that everyone.
Yes,
everyone is the number one requested. We've tried to collab so many times in like the forces of the universe. I think me and Green Bean are actually Joe Douglas and Brian Gutekunst, and that's why we were working out this trade the whole time. Green Bean is obviously JD, of course, and I'm Goody, unfortunately. I mean, there's no denying that comp, right? He's got to be JD,
obviously. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, same old stuff, guys. Talk ball, fun stuff. Subscribe to Boy Green if you haven't. It's a good time.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And as Hennessy Heisman says, if I have an apple juice, it doesn't feel as like naughty. Where like after dark, I should have like a tequila or something. But yeah, a half drinking apple. I guess. Cheers. 22 hours away. A little less than that actually, because it gets started at 8 o'clock. Thanks everybody for joining us. This is fantastic. Again, we'll be on Buffalo. We'll stay tuned. I've got my reconstructive ACL surgery next Wednesday morning, which is a week from today. I'm supposed to be out for months, apparently. So I don't know what that'll mean for the shows or anything like that. So TBD. You may get me at the hospital bed. Again, I may be like,
wait a minute.
What did you think of the draft?
Breece Hall is about to come back from an ACL and rush for 1,000 yards. And Boy Green can't get on StreamYard. And Breece is the soft one? Are we getting it? Is someone recording this?
Wait, are we going through a tunnel right now? What happened? How did that flip so quick? That's true. I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll get a camera on me in the hospital bed. Maybe we'll see that. I don't know. Actually, now you know what? We're out of time. We just got to go. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, like the video, hit subscribe. Also, hit up Buffalo's channel. As always, you can find all those links and all the juicy deets in all the YouTube descriptions. But Buffalo Jet fan, Boy Green. See you guys. Enjoy the draft, and we will see you tomorrow. One last plug. We'll be on at 3 o'clock tomorrow with Randy Mueller, former NFL GM, and then 7:45 live stream. We'll see you then.